Can't get enough sports shorts? Tune into Sports Shorts TV on Cox HD Channel 1013 Mondays at 8, Tuesdays at 9, and ETEL Channel 4. That's 52 weeks a year to get educated on sports by the best. Joel Davis and Ronnie Rance.
Welcome, everyone, to Sports Shorts presented by LeBears Casino. I'm Ronnie Rance. Joining me in the first half hour of the show, Charlie Hannegriff of ESPN Radio in Baton Rouge. We'll have Kelly Hutchinson making her debut here on Sports Shorts a little bit later on in the show, and we'll talk to her about her show right here on Pelican Broadcasting. But Charlie, these are different days as when it comes to LSU football. Welcome to Texas Tech U, right?
We got the SEC stats, and Joy Collada took the pass efficiency stat for the Southeastern Conference, and LSU's number one. He just highlighted it. And it's like, hey, that's different. Usually it's the rush offense, right, and maybe the rush defense. Pass efficiency, number one.
So what was this? Was this the fourth time ever a quarterback at LSU's thrown for over 400 yards in a game?
Ed Rohan did it twice, and Burrow. Yeah, I think that's right.
I think that's it. I know Daigle came in at 399. Jesse Daigle, I believe, back in the day against Mississippi State. You got the feeling he could have thrown for 500, and who knows, he may before the season's all said and done. But were you buying going into the season? I know everybody talked the offense is going to look different and whatnot, but were you buying that? Yeah, this is what it's going to look like.
Oh, I was buying that this was going to be the philosophy. I had no idea it would work this well. The team had gone from a personnel standpoint to where they couldn't go back. They didn't have two tight ends that they could line up like offensive tackles. They didn't have a fullback that they were going to run the football with out of the I formation. No, they had gone past the Rubicon to go backwards. But whether it would work or not was anybody's guess. And what's been the great plays and the great players that have made them, that, okay, we knew that there was great talent on this team. But what's really impressed me is the efficiency with which they've executed this. All of the things that, I'll use a tennis term here, unforced errors that usually come with a philosophical shift like this, the delay of game penalties, the substitution infractions, the illegal formations, the delay of games, none of that. I mean, it has been incredibly efficient, and to do that with two guys up in the booth, which frankly was a concern to me. Usually when you got two guys on the headset, when you're in the play calling, sometimes that creates more problems than it solves, and it has been the exact opposite of that. It has been a very smooth and fluid transition, and you got to give Joe Brady and Steve Ensminger and Ed Ogeron credit for making that whole thing work. And then, of course, the players have been just terrific.
I don't know that I can ever remember, and there's been many co-coordinator kind of scenarios. Heck, we had co-defensive coordinators under Miles here one year. And so, other schools have done it, but it just never seems to end well, right? But these guys generally seem to be on the same page. Ensminger's egoless, and from a standpoint of, everything's Joe Brady. He seems fine with that at this phase in his career. It's amazing to me how it's truly been this marriage that's worked up until this point. When you look into the future, what do you see in your crystal ball? Do you think Steve, does this continue? Does Steve take a back seat a little bit as his, when I mean future, I mean beyond this year?
I think it's sustainable in the short term. I don't think it's, you're going to have this for 5 or 6 years because coaches move on, right?
Do you think this could be a 2 or 3 year thing?
Yeah, I think it could. I think everybody sort of realizes right now that they're better together than apart. Joe Brady needed a break, okay? He's 29 years old.
Right.
He wanted an opportunity to get in there and be a part of installing a philosophy where it hadn't been before and be a part of play calling. Steve Ensminger wanted some fresh ideas, and Ed Ogeron wanted something that they could move forward with. So they're all better together. It won't last forever. Like I said, staffs turn over, and eventually Brady's going to want to be his own coordinator, and I imagine a head coach one day. And Steve is, not going to coach forever. So it's in the short term, it's very sustainable. In the long term, no staff stays together forever.
Well, I'd be willing to say in this day and age where coaches being hired for the most part seem to be getting younger and younger, Mac Brown with the exception, but that the Brady thing may not last as long as we like. I think somebody may gamble on him as an O coordinator a lot sooner than maybe his birth date should allow.
Exactly. Sean McVay was 32. Okay, he's sort of the standard bearer these days.
Did you watch Hard Knocks? Did you?
I
HBO
watched.
Hard Knocks?
I watched about 15 minutes of the first show.
Couldn't
to me,
deal with it.
The show I thought was very well conceived and interesting when it started. Not this year. I'm talking about when
Just
the series.
Original, 15 years ago. Right?
Now it seems to me they're performing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they all know. They're all social media savvy. They've all seen the show. They know how it works. A lot of them have grown up with the show. They've been watching it since they were in junior high. So I don't think the show works nearly as well as it once did.
Yeah. Well, my point of that was, they scrimmaged the Rams. The Raiders scrimmaged the Rams, and it was funny. Obviously McVay started off his career on Gruden's staff as like a volunteer, a little GA back when he was like a kid, and they showed B-roll of Hard Knocks back in the day when Tampa Bay was being featured, and there was McVay, basically the ball boy, to sort of speak, and following, the coach around, and they showed Gruden talking to him and asking him, questions, and I mean, it was really neat, to see that part of the show.
You get some precocious guys, and apparently Brady is one of those guys that he just sort of sees the game in a different way, has a feel for what to call, is kind of a step ahead. He's a real talent, and he's got an unbelievable future.
I guess we're not going to truly appreciate this victory. I mean, to be able to put it in true context until we know what we're dealing with Texas, right? I mean, to get an idea of, is this a team that goes 10-2, 11-1, or something else? But what does your gut tell you about Texas? Is this a team that you think, can legitimately run the table?
They were number 9 in the country when LSU played them. When the season ends, I think they'll probably be number 9. I think they're a top 10 team. I think the temptation is to go back and look at Miami last year and say, well, they were a top 10 team when LSU played them, and then they imploded. But I think there's some very subtle, very big differences, not subtle differences. Number one, the quarterback is everything. I think Ehlinger is a terrific player. I think the accuracy label, the inaccurate label that he was saddled with, was a byproduct of his freshman year and not what the quarterback you see now, which is into his third year as a starter, and we know what he is as a runner. I think they've got a basketball team full of wide receivers out there. Every one of them seems to be a 6'6" jumping jack that's athletic beyond belief. They replaced the guys on defense that they lost from a year ago, I think, better than I expected. When I look at their schedule, the Red River game is a total toss-up with Oklahoma. We've seen the team that finishes behind win that game quite a few times. So I think that's a total coin flip. And I think they've got tough trips to TCU and Iowa State. Those are both tricky trips. But I think they can go 2-3 in those games, and I think they win the rest. They look like a 10-2 team to me.
Well, I always thought that this game was going to be a one-score game. I laid off of it when it comes to the betting thing because it just wasn't 100%. I didn't have a feel, but I just knew it was going to be close because I developed a really appreciation for Ehlinger last year in the Sugar Bowl, went to the game, saw this guy. I remember it may not transition to the pros, but anytime in college you see that Tebow Ehlinger type that can run the ball 20 times, and we're talking about really run it, not just running it out of bounds. We're talking about take on a linebacker. We're talking about run a power play.
Planned runs.
Planned runs that are so physical and hurt, and then all of a sudden they've got to have that, my arm is okay, and I got to be able to throw it, and I got to be able to think clearly after I just got a concussion from running the ball between the tackles. I have mad respect for him and what he did in that ball game.
I think the Tebow comparison hurts his reputation a little bit, and this is why. Last week I heard this a lot. And even Ed Ogeron said, well, he reminds me of Tebow, but he's not Tebow. And that's what everybody said all week. Well, he's not Tebow. He's not Tebow. Fine. Let him be 80% of Tebow, and that's still better than most everybody. Is he 250 pounds like Tebow? No, but he's every bit of 230, 235 maybe. Is he I think he's a more accurate quarterback than Tebow was.
Thrower than Tebow, sure.
Okay, he's not Tebow. If that's the worst thing you can say about Sam Ehlinger, he's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good company. That's like in baseball anytime they compare your stats to Babe Ruth.
Yeah, right. You don't pitch like Greg Maddux. Okay,
right.
Fine.
What stood out the most for you in LSU's win? A player or something that caught your eye that maybe you didn't know going into the game?
The 3rd and 17. The 3rd and 17. Not just the play itself, but the whole mechanics for getting to the play. You got a lead with 4 minutes to go, and you got the football. You got a one score lead, and Up in the box, Steve Ensminger is communicating with Ed Orgeron. He's saying, do we want to go 4-minute offense here? And 4-minute offense means basically we want to bleed the clock here. And Steve said no. He says, I want to throw the ball here. I want to go down and score. And Ed Orgeron said, okay. And a year ago, he wouldn't have. And 2 years ago, he certainly wouldn't have. And a lot of coaches, even with a hot quarterback like that, wouldn't have. Sean Payton in the Monday night game with Drew Brees didn't. Not exactly the same situation, but again, you're a one-score leader. You want to give the other guys the ball back, and he said, yeah, we're going to run the ball, we're going to extinguish their timeouts, and we're going to kick the field goal, and we're going to make them go the length of the field. A lot of coaches would have said that. Orgeron said, go for it. Ensminger had the guts to tell Orgeron, this is what we need to do. Orgeron had the guts to say, yeah, let's do it, and then they call the plays, and then the quarterback and the receiver executed, and the rest of the offense executed. Edwards-Helaire had a terrific block on that play. That's a philosophical shift, man. That's the play. That's the situation that I'll take away from this game is if LSU becomes this offensive juggernaut, if from here on out they're no longer known as this grind it out and win with defense and special teams, and they become this high-powered offense for years to come, that's the launching point for me. It was a lot more than just a third down conversion to win a game in my mind.
The 3rd and 17 play, and I know we have a tendency to get caught up in the most recent and the now, and to say that was the greatest ever. I generally believe it's a top 10 play in LSU football history, 9 or 10, and I know that's a mouthful, but you know we go back to the cannon run, and we go back to the Burt Jones 2 seconds, 1 second, whatever.
Yeah.
We go back to Eddie Fuller and the earthquake, the Bluegrass Miracle, the Jamarcus throw to beat Arizona State, the bird catch.
The bird catch is the one I want to talk about because I think the bird catch gets
overplayed a little bit.
No, actually not. But I think it has grown in stature because they won the championship.
Yeah, true.
Think about if Pitt doesn't beat West Virginia and they don't win the championship.
Right.
Okay, that play is just a great play. It's not. It didn't lead to a championship. If this play leads to a championship, it'll even grow. It's a great play no matter what.
To be determined where
the Bluegrass Miracle was a great play, even though they were an 8-5 team.
Right.
Okay, it will always be a great play, but where it ranks in the history will be how it determines what
if this team goes on to the playoffs.
Yeah, if this team gets in the playoffs, let's say with one loss, and the determining factor of them getting into the playoffs was they beat Texas,
right?
Then the play grows in stature. It's a great play no matter what. But where it ranks in LSU football history will probably depend on where this team ends up.
It just, I guess my appreciation for the play, being fortunate enough to be there in person and see it in person, was just to appreciate what Burrow did. It was that was a Drew Brees type of play in the sense that, everything's coming around him. He's being blitzed. He trusts his back to pick up the blitzer who 2 plays earlier had missed the block. And then, for him to step up and do it perfectly. 2 hands on the ball, just like they teach in the drill, just with they work on that all day long. He did it just like the drill. And then to step up into the pressure, into the back of his offensive lineman, and to wait just long enough because he's waiting for Jefferson to put that foot in the dirt to break to his left. I mean, it came out Peyton Manning wobbly, but it didn't matter. He waited, had the perfect time. It just was such a savvy 30-year-old quarterback play, not a college kid play.
And my appreciation for the play is all of that. But before you ever get to that, this play is never called.
Right.
It's never called.
At any point in LSU history.
No, there's not another coach that would have called that play. It's 3rd and 17. Right. The chances of you making a 17
5%?
to go, maybe, maybe a little bit higher in this game because of the way it had played out. But it's a low percentage complete. 3rd and 7 is a whole different kettle of fish. You can complete a 3rd and 7. You can complete a lot of balls on 3rd and 17 that don't get you the first down, and a lot of bad things can happen. And to say now that of course they were going to do that, is to assume they would have made a 3rd and 17 the majority of the time. I think most coaches, and I know if Jimmy's watching this, he's disagreeing with me because we've been going 15 rounds on the show about this. I don't think any other coach in LSU history calls this play. And I don't think Ed Ogeron calls this play even 1 year ago. But and to me, that's why they've crossed over into this new era of what they're doing.
Not enough can be said about the metamorphosis of Ed Ogeron, right? Like, I don't know that I've ever I don't have a comparison. I mean, I'm sure there's one. We could think of one if we long enough and a couple cocktails. But, to go from the Ed Ogeron who's ripping off his shirt at the Ole Miss and going nuts and just, terrorizing players and coaches and practice, to go from that guy 12, 13 years ago to the guy he is now that is willing to change philosophy for the better of his career and the program, and to just handle everything differently for the most part. I mean, the experience he's picked up in the last, 8 years or so before he got back to LSU with the time with the Saints and Pete Carroll and USC tenure and all that stuff, it's amazing the growth.
I'm gonna give you two, one that worked and one that didn't. It wasn't necessarily people; it was programs. I'll give you Oklahoma when they brought Stoops in, and they had been a wishbone, run the football, and then they went into the eye bone and all those other things they did in the night. And they said, when Stoops got there, it's like, we're gonna start throwing the football. I was like, wait a minute, it's Oklahoma, okay, and not the Oklahoma we think of today, the Oklahoma of Barry Switzer, and we didn't think. No, we're going to change. And they won big.
Won quickly.
And you say, so why wouldn't everybody do that? Well, Nebraska did the same thing at about the same time. Frank Solich was there. He had taken over Tom Osborne. They were doing things the same way, and they were winning 9 games a year back in an 11-game schedule, and it was fine. And the athletic director says, wait, we got to change. We got to take everything that, 75 years of Nebraska football has stood for, and we got to completely change our philosophy. And it blew up on them, and they haven't been the same since. It doesn't always work. It's not just enough to say we're going to change. You got to change, and then you got to execute it. Ogeron could have called that play. Ensminger, Brady could call that play 100 times. Burrow's got to go out and execute it. Jefferson's got to execute it. So it's a fine line, but it's scary. Okay, when you're asked to go out and do something in a different manner, I compared it to if Gordy had come in and asked us to do the show in French. Said, hey, it's still sports talk, guys. It's what you've done your whole life. I just want you to do it in French now. I don't speak French. I don't. Yeah, you gotta completely change your thinking, and you don't have to do it all at once. Just learn one word of French, and then one phrase, and then one segment, and then all of a sudden you're speaking French, and we're going to be on the #1 French station in Paris, and we're going to all be, million. Yeah, and you're like, no, I don't want to speak French. And Les Miles didn't want to speak French. I don't want to speak French. I don't know how to speak French. I don't want to learn. That's not what I do. I've spoke English my entire life and done just fine. I'm going to keep doing this. To change is hard, man. It's hard.
The LSU Tigers have definitely changed, and it is working. And look, the best thing about it is now they're able to use the talent that they've had for years. I mean, and I think back to all these players over the last, say, at least 10 years, and they've just got to wonder, what if? I mean, we know Fournette had the famous tweet about, how many yards would I had in this offense? Every offensive player is thinking that way. Heck, every coach that's coaching somewhere else is thinking, what if we'd have done this? We might still be there.
You know what I was thinking about was a quote from Bear Bryant back in I think this was a 70s quote. It might have even been a 60s quote, and it was kind of under the radar. But he said, if those guys at Florida ever figure it out, if they ever get the right coach down there, we're in trouble, because he understood well before Florida was in its heyday the talent, the geographical advantages that they had and the talent that they had. And he says, man, if they ever figure it out, they ever get the right coach down there, we're in trouble. And he was right. Of course, he had passed on by the time it actually happened, but they were an underachieving. It's hard to think about Florida that way now with all the success they've had, but they were an underachieving team. They had a little bit of success with Charlie Pell and Galen Hall and all that. But when Spurrier got there, woe was the rest of the league for a decade. And I can't help but think that, people have been thinking about LSU that way for a long time. It's like, man, look, with that talent of NFL roster, if they ever figure it out, if they ever find the fairway, it's going to be real trouble. So
he's Charlie Hannegriff. I'm Ronnie Rance. We'll take a break on Sports Shorts. When we come back, we'll talk some Hoodats. The Saints with a heart-stopping finish. It's only game 1. 15 more to go. We'll talk Sports Shorts presented by LeBears coming up next.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call Accutemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau St. Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to
When you come to Relief Windows, your experience starts here.
Or here.
Then we come to your home.
We measure twice.
And then we bring custom windows to your home.
We remove your old windows. Install your new windows.
Clean our mess.
And we make sure you're completely satisfied.
And all of this before you pay a dime. And at Relief Windows, our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Relief Windows.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call Accutemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
Can't get enough sports shorts? Tune into Sports Shorts TV on Cox HD Channel 1013 Mondays at 8, Tuesdays at 9, and ETEL Channel 4. That's 52 weeks a year to get educated on sports by the best. Joel Davis and Ronnie Rance.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Shorts. Ronnie Rance, Sports Shorts presented by LeBear's Casino. Don't forget to download the LeBear's Casino app on your phone. You can check out all the goings-on. They got live music over at Edge 4 nights a week. And then, of course, a lot of great concerts coming up. Get your tickets through Ticketmaster.com. We've got Better Than Ezra at some point in October, always a go-to. And then Brian McKnight. How about a little Brian McKnight in November? Saw him a few years ago at another casino. He's still doing it good. Love me some Brian McKnight. All right, Charles Hannegriff joining us right now. We'll talk a little New Orleans Saints, and then we got the girls from Glitter and Gossip going to be here in studio coming up next. So, has your heart come back from the Saints win? I mean, my goodness.
You know, after watching the LSU game, watching the Saints game, and I was listening to Matt, and he said, I'm just so nervous for this game. Just so nervous. I don't get that worked up about regular season Saints games because I know that there's another one coming the next week. It doesn't have the finality of it the way an LSU game against a Texas does, because if they lost to Texas, your playoff is on life support.
Yeah, you got to win them all.
And for the Saints, I watched them lose the first game of last year to an inferior opponent and then go 13-2 the rest of the way. So it doesn't have that sense of urgency. Now, don't tell that to my wife who tries to video me on my sofa during the game or my neighbors who are used to the noise. But it was a great win, and Houston's a really good team. I mean, that was a division champion a year ago. Deshaun Watson's not a rising star; he's a star. That's DeAndre Hopkins is as good a receiver as there is in football. It's a really good team. That's a hard game to win.
And look, you needed it because your next two are at LA and at Seattle. And if you just go 1-1 in those two, you'll be happy with those back-to-back road trips. So they finally win their first opening game since 2013. They needed to get that win. But let's talk about Drew for a minute. At halftime, I'm at the game and I'm talking to some folks in the suites in the club, and they're like, questioning his arm. They're questioning, the arm strength, what's wrong with Drew, the whole 9 yards, and then he does what he does in the second half.
I get where the arm strength questions are coming from because he doesn't zip the ball 45 yards down the field anymore. But the routes that they run more commonly, those out routes, those timing routes, he's still right on the money. He's still got a lot of zip on the fastball. The long played again on 3rd and 2. Yeah, he could have let him a little bit more. But ask yourself how many balls are completed 40 yards in the air. There's
one
not
a game, maybe.
Yeah, there's just not that many, and it's not the important. If he couldn't get the ball on those out routes, if he couldn't complete the ball in the middle of the field on the move at 20 yards, well, then you got a problem. Then the arm has started to go. I don't disagree that his arm is not as strong as it was when he was 30 years old, but it's still plenty strong enough to and he's still accurate enough to do what he needs to do.
At the end of the game, again, you mentioned it earlier when we were talking about Coach O and the LSU-Texas game, how on 3rd and 17 he chose to throw it instead of run it when everybody thought he was going to run it, and that would have been a normal play. At the end of this game, Sean Payton, 3rd and 11, they decide to run it, kick the field goal, go up 6, and put it in their defense's hands with the last 50 seconds of the game. We know how it played out now. We know Watson went 2 throws down the field and scored a touchdown. They took the lead. But at the same time, I think that was still the right play, don't you?
Absolutely. Okay, Peyton, in his post game, you remember when the Saints were going down to kick the winning field goal, and they had a chance to clock it or call their final timeout.
Right. He let the clock happen, which ate up a bunch of time.
It did, but he had a specific reason. Both he and Breeze talked about it. He said because when you don't have timeouts left, the defense knows that they can umbrella you. They can just guard the sidelines, not let anybody behind them, and essentially give you the middle of the field and let the clock run. If you call a timeout, they got to defend you honest, and they knew exactly where they had to get to. Same thing applies when the Saints were going on defense. The failure was not the call or the execution of all of that. It was how in the world on 2 plays do you let Hopkins get behind you and out of bounds? I mean, this is 2 mistakes in the same play, and then let Kenny Stills get behind you into the end zone. I mean, this is 4 colossal mistakes in 2 plays in 30 seconds. How does that happen? You did everything right up to that point. If you play that umbrella and you keep them inbounds and in front of you, going 75 yards in 55 seconds is hard, even with Watson and Hopkins in the group that they've got.
This is concerning because it's twice now in 2 years, right? It happened against the Vikings. It happened in this game against the Texans. Just inexcusable. I mean, at the NFL level, with as much time as they have to prepare and come up with a game plan, as educated as those guys are, for them to not handle those situations better is a red flag. I mean, it just has to be. I mean, I know it's only game 1, but defensively, we know this team offensively is going to do what it takes to be good. But in order to win a championship, and this is all about winning a Super Bowl, nothing less, you think about what you're going to see against New England potentially in a Super Bowl if you get there or something like that. The secondary did not live up to what it should have been.
No, it didn't. Here's what I did like. I like the pass rush. The pass rush looks improved.
Without all your guys.
Without your interior guys, correct. Here's something else that I liked, and it's going to sound goofy, but let me explain. I like that they didn't tackle well last night, because when they do start to tackle well, I think this will be a much better. I know they're capable of tackling much better than they tackled last night, and I think it's a problem that a lot of teams have. They have negated so much of the contact during camp now, and no two-a-days, and it's less physical, and you're seeing worse tackling, especially early in the season. I think they'll tackle better. And so those things ease my mind some about the defense. But you're right, those breakdowns in the secondary are alarming. And, I got to go back and watch it again. I went to bed after the game, but I want to say it was Marshawn Lattimore that Hopkins beat. Now, getting beat by DeAndre Hopkins is fine.
Yeah,
a lot of people do. Getting beat outside and out of bounds for 38 yards and out of bounds, that can't happen. If DeAndre goes up in a one-on-one situation and snags a 22-yard ball, he's just good. He's DeAndre Hopkins. You can't let a 38-yard out pattern happen at that point in the game.
Last thing, non-Saints. Is it a foregone conclusion that Tom Brady and the Patriots are in the finals now that they've added Antonio Brown to this team? I mean, they looked like the super best team in the league without him on Monday night against the Steelers. Now you add arguably the best receiver in the league. albeit he's crazy. You know, do you
Is
think?
he? Is he crazy like a fox?
Certifiable.
Well, unless he orchestrated all this, as some people are suggesting now.
No. I mean, he would have had to have carried on this, facade for a year, and I don't think he's that good of an actor.
Well, Drew Rosenhaus was Terrell Owens' agent. Okay, so he knows how to deal with crazy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Yeah, they're the best team by far.
By far
on that side.
AFC.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, he's Charles Hannegriff. You can check him out Monday through Friday from 11 to 1. He and his wife, Jimmy Ott.
My work
How
wife.
long have y'all been married?
Oh gosh, in this show, 8 years.
8 years, and then before that, I mean,
25 before that.
25 before that. Thank you, appreciate it, Charlie.
All right, Ronnie.
When we come back, it's Glitter and Gossip is in the house. We've got, it really smells good in here. We'll be back. Sports Shorts presented by LeBears.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call Accutemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau Saint Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
When you come to Relief Windows, your experience starts here.
Or here.
Then we come to your home.
We measure twice.
And then we bring custom windows to your home.
We remove your old windows. Install your new windows.
Clean our mess.
And we make sure you're completely satisfied.
And all of this before you pay a dime. And at Relief Windows, our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Relief Windows.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call Accutemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
Can't get enough sports shorts? Tune into Sports Shorts TV on Cox HD Channel 1013 Mondays at 8, Tuesdays at 9, and ETEL Channel 4. That's 52 weeks a year to get educated on sports by the best. Joel Davis and Ronnie Rance.
Welcome back to Sports Shorts / meets Glitter and Gossip. Welcome back, everybody. We upgraded a little bit. We got rid of Charles Hannegriff, and we brought it's a 4-for-1 trade. These are the girls of Glitter and Gossip. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Don't you are by the way, this is funny. So I'm hiring a new assistant, for Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, and put a Indeed, blast out there, for people to submit their resume. Yeah, I had somebody tell me it was a lady. She's said
awesome.
she said she submitted her resume, and then a little note at the end said, "Hey, you did a great job on Glitter and Gossip the other day." Yeah. So how about that? So there you got.
You're getting cool points because
Absolutely, absolutely. And I did hire someone else, but anyway, that's no. I know. I'm joking. All right, so the girls are in the house. I'm gonna start with Kelly. Kelly Hutchinson Chapuis. Am I saying that right? Is that French? What is that?
It is French.
Okay, that's good. Matter of fact, Charlie was talking about French earlier. So, all right,
I'm
Kelly
actually
Hutchinson.
not French.
Yeah, no, there's zero French in you. You're what's that singer? The Portuguese singer. No, Shakira was Colombian. That was not.
Oh.
It was a little
Shakira, like a little lady,
like a bird on the window. No, not Nora Jones.
Are you talking about Nelly?
Nelly Furtado.
Yeah.
Very nice, very good job. You win. We're not even playing trivia yet. We're not even playing trivia yet. Yeah. Nelly Furtado. See, she might be a cousin. You might want to check that out.
So.
All right,
Definitely
first off,
related.
introduce the girls, and then we're going to talk about the show.
All right, so we've got my girls here today. We've got Miss Jen Myers. Hello. We've got Kelly M. with Guilty Until Proven Fabulous, which is an awesome segment on Glitter and Gossip, and Christy, the Christian, given to by G-Man, but it's actually Christy Langlois, and she hosts or co-hosts the show Glitter and Gossip with me, and also does some pretty epic trivia where sometimes people like Ronnie get their butts kicked.
Well, listen, talk about being talk about a rigged game shows. Back in the 50s, people got in trouble because they had like real game shows that got rigged and stuff like that. Well, you guys absolutely rigged the game show that I was on the other day. Yeah. So, all right, Paul, if we're ready for this, I want to play this clip. This is from when I was on with you guys on Glitter and Gossip, the trivia segment, which you guys totally bamboozled me on.
I didn't know about it either.
Roll that beautiful bean footage whenever you're ready, Paul.
What sport is the most popular in Canada?
I know. Is it ice hockey?
Yes.
Ooh, boom.
Oh my God.
Point one. 1 point for the Kellys.
Yeah, you saw
Real tough one right there to get the party
I
started,
know.
huh?
Thanks. Got to get it going.
Yeah.
Okay, Ronnie and Jen, are y'all ready?
No.
They're not ready.
They're not.
Curling.
Clearly.
Okay.
No, that's not it.
Who was the first Filipino American
Yeah, I knew this was
to play in the NBA?
Yeah, this is
Oh,
rigged.
yeah.
This is
Thank
rigged.
you. This is so rigged.
Yeah.
The first Filipino American
What are you talking about? That's so
to
rude.
play in the NBA.
Oh, the really tall
Come
guy.
on, winning team.
Filipino. None. There's never been a Filipino
Yao, yes.
American to play in the NBA.
Yeah.
His name is Raymond Townsend.
Congratulations, Raymond.
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you something about Filipinos.
So one
Tommy
Kelly,
Chrysan here.
0 coats.
Right. Number 2. True or false? Muhammad Ali is a famous
here we go.
True or
quarterback.
false?
False.
50-50.
False.
Didn't he
Right.
fight?
It's 50-50.
Yeah, he was a boxer.
Yeah. Oh, I was right
Can
again.
we switch teams? I want those
switching.
questions.
Okay. Number 2 for the coach.
I bet this is a zinger.
Yeah. Watch them school. Well, we're in school anyway,
It's very
right?
even.
You're gonna know this.
Right.
It took me all
I
day.
mean,
on
I
this.
know.
Okay. You're gonna know this.
I
That
don't.
means
I
you
don't
already know?
actually know. I'm just trying to build him up.
Okay.
Trying to build him up.
Yes.
Which
I would never do that.
vintage player is known as the first superstar of the NFL?
Ooh, come on, Ronnie.
Come on, you know this.
I'm gonna go with Joe Romaggio.
That's baseball.
Okay.
Joe DiMaggio's baseball. I'll take this one. Yeah. Good teammate. Thank you for that.
I mean,
First football player. I'm going to go with Red Grange.
yes, you're right. That's bullcrap.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
We knew you had it in you.
Yeah.
I knew
you
you
got a
did
true
one.
or false. I got Red Grange.
Yeah.
Thank you. Guy's been dead for 100 years.
My
There you
cheeks
go.
hurt. My cheeks hurt. I'm getting wrinkles.
Okay. Number 3 for the Kellys.
Okay.
A tennis game played with only one player on each side is known as a
Single match.
Yeah.
Single match.
Whoa.
Yes.
You get 2 at question. You can guess as many times as you want. She
Single
said
match. I wasn't finished with my
She
word.
talked it out.
Maybe
You
she
can't
stuttered.
talk it out. Sorry.
Wow.
Maybe she stuttered.
Thank God you knew. I didn't know
All
that.
right. 3-1. I'm just
And I'm
saying.
I
pretty
don't
sure
tennis.
you mouthed the answer to
Yeah.
her.
I
I'm
did
pretty
not.
sure.
Are you in?
Match. I'm pretty sure you told her that.
Because she couldn't remember the
Sore
answer. to what
loser,
she read
guys.
earlier.
All right, here we go.
Sore loser.
And I guess I've got to name whoever judged the match, right? Okay, whoever.
Yeah, right.
Which player was selected first in the 1983 NBA draft?
You want to guess?
Oh wait, no. Can we get a lifeline to?
I would love for you to guess.
It cannot be Google. It cannot be Google.
Oh, you know the answer.
1983.
1983. Magic Johnson.
That's not terrible. It's not right, but that's not. She said Magic Johnson. She's only off by like 4 years. That's not bad.
Okay.
That's not
Yeah,
bad.
okay.
3 years.
Can I get another
All right,
guess?
I'm gonna take a guess. Okay. First pick, 83 draft.
Larry Bird.
I wasn't born yet.
I feel like he was 82, but Ralph Sampson.
Yes.
What?
What? This guy.
Wow.
What? Look, I'll get people's
come on.
attention, and you ask the good questions.
Can I get some cheese fries or a
Damn, you're good.
bedazzled cup? Something.
Yes. No, you already won it.
Fresh
I
beverage.
told you after this you can have Kelly's cup.
Okay. All right.
Okay, number 4, Kelly's. In golf, what do the players use to hit the ball?
Oh, I know. I know.
yeah.
Oh, wait. This
Golf
is
club.
Golf club.
Is this a trick?
Yeah, no.
What? We got it, Kelly.
That's an actual
awesome.
question?
Woo! The Kellys are killing it tonight.
I mean, everybody knows that.
You know
You
why?
got a celebration station. They give you a golf club.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Jeez.
I mean,
Wow.
I know why they put me on this team.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, number 4.
What's the score, by the way?
I think we have like 5 or 7, and
It's
y'all have
4
like
to
1.
3.
Four
Yeah. You're
Four to
only one
3.
behind us.
I mean, you are holding
You're
up.
kind of kicking some butt right
Yeah,
now.
I know.
Okay, number 4.
Okay.
The Nordstrom family formerly owned which NBA team?
Oof.
Those guys. I know.
Nordstrom's. They don't
I
have
know
a big and tall department, so I don't shop there. But
I'm gonna go with something on the East Coast. If
It's
I
going to be East Coast, New York, right? I mean, come on, right? It's got to be like the Knicks or the Nets.
If they
Can
win,
we-
I'm going to be
I
really
mean,
pissed.
like,
it's an NBA.
Yeah. Well, you said NBA, right?
NBA.
I mean, like,
It's definitely East Coast. What else? Name some other ones on the East Coast.
well, I mean, it's not going to be the Celtics or
Okay.
something, but I mean, it's
No?
probably the best guess
Okay.
is New York. Let's go Knicks.
Okay,
4.
yeah.
New York Knicks.
No.
Nah. Sorry. That was just natural reaction.
I have the Seattle Seahawks.
By the way, that's a
That's a
football
football
team.
I know.
Okay,
I
throw that question out. That's a football team.
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness,
Yeah.
what is going on
Okay,
here?
they
What
got
kind of game am I
They're
playing?
trying to trick us. No
like-
good tricksters.
I mean, like, not
like
only are the
cardio.
questions tough, but they're not even right.
Right.
Like,
I
you know.
I'm pretty sure we get a point for that.
Yes, you get a point. Of
Never
course you get a
won.
point.
4 to 4 then.
That's
Oh my gosh.
fine.
No.
I will give it to them because I realized while they were.
That's not fair to
man,
the
that's not
Kellys.
NBA.
Terrible.
I wonder
The
why you
Coats
got
didn't win.
confused.
And I think Starbucks owns the Seahawks. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last question
wrong.
for the Kellys.
Oh, shit, Kelly.
What color is a football?
Brown.
It's a brown leather ball. Brown
brown
leather,
with a
yes.
white.
Okay. White
Yeah.
stripes.
Really?
Okay.
With the laces out.
I'm so impressed.
Another,
Wow.
another Jim Carrey.
All right.
Okay.
Come on, let's see if y'all got it.
I mean, that was the
God.
question.
Okay,
I
no
didn't write it
pressure.
down on my paper.
Oh my God.
Number 5. When was the first Masters tournament played?
Where?
The actual year. You're asking me for the
When?
actual year. I mean, I mean, we all saw Bagger Vance, the
Come on,
movie.
I'm waiting for Don
somebody
to bounce
Google
the
that.
answer to
I mean,
Okay,
like,
okay, wait.
The
Oh, you just
Masters,
gave her a clue.
it's in
Jennifer's going
Augusta.
to figure it out.
Okay,
Georgia,
yeah.
long
it's
time
beautiful.
ago.
A lot of the birds chirping.
Lot of hills.
It's amazing. Yeah, the grass is the greenest.
Tiger Woods won this year.
Okay, yeah, that was awesome.
I
Okay,
actually probably remember that.
so if we throw it a decade, would you say yay or nay, and we get to move on?
Yeah.
No, this is the last question.
This is the
right?
last question.
So it's either wrong or right.
Like,
It's tiebreaker.
The first.
Okay.
Look how they're like getting with it. They're like, you're gonna lose.
That sounds weird.
They're trying
We're,
so
we're,
hard.
we're going to guess I think it's the teens. We're going to go with the decade of the 20s, say 1921.
You're very close. It was 1934.
Oh, you lost though.
Everybody knows that. I'm sorry.
I knew it was the
But y'all
30s.
did a
Chrissy.
great job.
We were
Oh.
under. We didn't go over.
Was it the 30s?
Right. Yeah.
For
All
Kelly.
right, so the Kellys won.
And the ball and the golf ball is white. Do we?
Yeah,
Do we
yeah.
get
For
that?
was one
bonus
of my
questions.
Golf ball's white. We don't get a point.
Right.
You
No,
get
nothing?
nothing.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Nothing.
Tennis balls are
So
green.
I really,
You did a great job.
I really enjoyed that so much.
So that might have been the worst
happened.
trivia setup
I was
bamboozle
there.
ever.
I was genuinely impressed though, because like
I thought it was
We
pretty
were
good.
trying to play a trick, but y'all really kind of almost came out on top.
Was it y'all though?
I know.
I mean,
Giving Jen all that credit. I'm
Say
trying
it.
to be.
I mean, you know,
She's being super
She
neutral.
gets Magic
she's
Johnson.
really cute, and that's why she was on my team. You
Y'all
know,
were both
not
wearing
really
coats,
for.
man.
Although the golf, you felt like you had a thought on golf.
I'm good at like throwing random years out and getting it right.
Yeah. And but
I'm
anyway,
terrible at trivia. I can't believe I beat you.
By the way, next time, if there is ever a next time that I'm on your show doing sports trivia, I think we should be able to ask the questions
right?
this time or something, right? I mean, or no, here's what we should be able to bring an independent, person to
that
ask
is a
the
great
questions,
idea.
right? Like a special
I think
guest
we definitely
questioner.
need a rematch. You know why they put me on your team, right?
Why is that?
Because you chose to. You were like, I'm on his team.
Because we had the jackets.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
coats.
The coats.
Well,
You chose that.
Yeah.
Really?
Because you thought you were going to win.
Yeah, Jennifer thought she
She thought she was on the winning team.
Yeah, I mean, I
but-
thought y'all wanted to watch me lose because I never.
You didn't
did.
realize. Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back on Sports Shorts presented by LeBears, Miss Kelly over here had her debut, first and last, and you as well. First
It's
and
not my
last.
last. It was just my
Well,
first.
for a while.
I'm just punished.
First and last. She's in timeout for indefinitely. First and last time covering an LSU football game on the sideline. So we've got a lot to get to on that. We got some pictures as well as I just can't wait to talk about this.
I know.
Sports Shorts coming up next.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call Accutemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau Saint Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
When you come to Relief Windows, your experience starts here.
Or here.
Then we come to your home.
We measure twice.
And then we bring custom windows to your home.
We remove your old windows. Install your new windows.
Clean our mess.
And we make sure you're completely satisfied.
And all of this before you pay a dime. And at Relief Windows, our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Windows.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call Accutemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
Can't get enough sports shorts? Tune into Sports Shorts TV on Cox HD Channel 1013 Mondays at 8, Tuesdays at 9, and ETEL Channel 4. That's 52 weeks a year to get educated on sports by the best. Joel Davis and Ronnie Rance.
today I beat Ronnie Rance in sports trivia. No big deal. Was it rigged? No. Did I kill it? Yes. Is Ronnie pissed? Probably. But I loved it.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to Sports Shorts. We replaced Joel Davis. We replaced Charles Hannegriff with the girls from Glitter and Gossip, which, of course, you can check out on Pelican Broadcasting on Tuesday nights right before Sports Shorts at 8 o'clock, and then, of course, on Thursday right after Sports Shorts. So it's a Sports Shorts, Glitter and Gossip sandwich.
Isn't that sweet?
Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
We're all
It's like shorts and glitter. It's a glitter
combo.
shorts.
Yeah, glitter shorts.
I like
Glitter
it.
shorts.
Wow, that show comes on at 9. So all right, so this is I'm looking forward to talking about this because we got Miss Jen, we got Miss Kelly. You two, did a first. Y'all had a first. So it's been a while since that happened, and you were able to acquire, don't know how, a press pass and go to LSU for a football game and be on the sidelines for the pregame. Experience what that's like, get some footage and all that. And I know you guys were really excited about it. And I thought to myself, I laughed to myself because I knew what was going to happen. And I knew that you guys would come all glittered and gossiped.
Only me.
I tried really hard to tone it down.
Yeah, I mean, we knew it was going to be 100 degrees on the sidelines with no movement of air in the September. That always happens. Hours of being out there. At some point, you were going to have to be on your knees if you were a photographer, like you had those duties. Yeah. So I knew this would get old and it wouldn't go well, and that's exactly what happened. Yeah. So before I talk to Miss Kelly, give me your perspective of what it was like, and if you'd care to ever do it again.
Okay, so it's a lot of work. It's not easy, for sure. I mean, I had a fantastic time. I did have to tell her to calm down all day. Like, take it down. Yeah. I would do it again.
You would do it again.
Yeah.
Look, we got some pictures of you up on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. That doesn't look like the face of someone who wants to do it again. I got to be honest with you.
Right. No, I mean,
that was just the only picture she sat still long enough for me to catch.
But look, you got the boot shoes on, right? Is that like some grippers on there on the bottom?
Oh,
we got the jeans.
I got Timberlands.
I don't know that the jeans was the best call, although being on the knees probably so, but it was so hot.
It was.
You had the black top. I don't know that was appropriate either. Almost like a turtleneck thing going on.
Don't you wear suits?
Yeah, but I changed into the suit
Coats.
after halftime.
How do you know I didn't change?
Because I'm seeing the picture. You look very hot.
Still wearing
you look very hot right there.
I wasn't hot.
All right, now let's show Miss Kelly. As of course, she's all about the celebrities. So we had the picture. You got to meet. There's Kelly. She really wasn't taking pictures, y'all. She's just holding it for the photo. Were you really? Though?
I really was. I promise.
How'd you like the vest that they made
I
you wear?
hated it. I was so mad. I was like, really? It doesn't fit.
Can we get an extra small, please?
But you did meet some celebrities. You saw Lane Hardy while you were out there. There's Lane. There's tailgating, pregame, all that. He's like 18, 19. There's the other hand. All right, we got some B-roll here too of you on the sidelines that I want to show. Just give an idea of where you guys were, and keep in mind this when Paul rolls this that it's 100 degrees. See?
Oh yeah.
Look at all the other people in vests. Both of you.
Oh,
there's Jen backside 77. Willie Rofe. There she is with the vest on. And there's the diva. She's in the back. She's not quite on the knees just yet. All right.
But it didn't take long after that.
So this is the fallout from it.
Okay.
The fallout is that the Northwestern State game is coming up this Saturday.
Mm-hmm. I'll be there.
But not on the sidelines.
Oh, who knows?
Really?
I've been talking to Jesus about it. Okay, Ronnie.
I don't. Have you really been talking to the lady named?
No, I haven't.
There's a lady. Okay, so probably you're not going to see you at the sidelines of the Northwestern State game. But overall, what was your takeaway?
Well, I did take away that vest, but I had to return it. So
yeah, they don't let you keep it.
So I thought that was going to be my way. No, I'm just kidding. I'm really excited, and I plan on being front and center and a complete pain in the butt, as usual, because I have got to get some good footage of my boys because I am so proud of them this season. They have killing it, and I'm going to be there.
All right,
I'm going to give all of
Even
it.
if we're not in a apron on the sideline.
Yeah, it's what it was.
Sweating.
It was
Doesn't
a
mean we
vest
can't
for
get good
some,
footage.
apron for others.
Okay, so if somebody tunes in at Glitter and Gossip, do they hear sports besides the rig trivia? I mean, do you ever talk sports when I'm not around? Do we work it in? What are we doing?
This is a new segment.
Okay.
And it's a kickoff segment with me.
All right.
So this started for LSU this season.
All right.
So yeah.
Who knows the most about sports out of the four of you?
Is that
Do
true?
you say Jen? You think you do?
Yeah.
I would say either
Okay,
Jen
well,
or
why don't
Kelly.
you give?
Yeah.
Why don't
All
you
right,
give?
all right. I
them
got a
some-
little something.
I
Ready?
know.
Ready?
Give it
a little
to 'em.
something. A little something. Just
I'll
got
be
a
on the
couple
coach
minutes
side.
left. All right.
Okay.
So, and just jump in. Don't
All
raise
right,
your
I'm
hand.
ready.
Just blurt it out. Who was the LSU starting quarterback when they won their national championship in 2003? 2003.
Okay,
Nick Saban was the
it's,
coach.
It's that.
Who was
one-
the starting
the white guy.
quarterback?
The white guy.
Okay, good. That's good. That's
He was
50%.
he was a dentist. He went
chance.
to dentistry school.
That's you're getting
Okay,
warmer.
yeah.
You're getting warmer.
I don't know.
Oh man.
He played baseball professionally in the minor
If
leagues
you give me-
before coming to LSU to be the quarterback. His initials are MM. Look, by the way,
Oh.
Kelly's nothing's even
Oh
registered
no.
over here.
I didn't start watching or partaking in football until like the next
Matt
year.
Mock.
Yeah.
Matt Mock.
I was
Matt
like,
Mock.
I was so.
Who was the LSU quarterback when they won the national
knew he was
championship in
gonna do this.
2007? Les Miles.
2007.
And the guy actually does radio once a week here on ESPN Radio in Baton Rouge.
That
He's got a like a water electrolyte water that
who was that
doesn't
guy?
always work well if you watch the LSU game this past week. A lot of cramping.
Does his name start with
MF. He's an MFer.
oh, MFer.
See, she doesn't.
Flint.
I'm gonna give Matt Flynn. Matt
Matt
Flynn.
Flynn.
You said Flint. I'm gonna give it to you at this point.
It came out later.
One last one. Who's the only Heisman Trophy winner in the history of LSU football?
Ooh.
There's only one. There's a statue of him outside the stadium.
Yeah.
They brought him-
We've got pictures now.
He was a part of the first national championship team in the late 50s. You better hurry up because we're about to run out of
Okay,
time.
how would I
here.
know that?
I don't know.
BC is his initials.
BC.
Just passed away about a year and a half ago.
I don't remember.
Billy
the
Cannon.
I don't
Billy
remember
Cannon.
the question.
Okay, that's why you tune into Sports Shorts. You tune into Sports Shorts for sports. You turn into Glitter and Gossip for everything else. Ladies, thank y'all so much for coming
you
by.
for
I
having us.
appreciate it.
Thanks.
You've brought something different to this show. I don't know what, but it's different.
It's
All
gonna
right.
be. It's epic.
Sports Shorts presented by LeBears. We'll see you next week, everybody. Have a good one.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call Accutemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau Saint Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
When you come to Relief Windows, your experience starts here.
Or here.
Then we come to your home.
We measure twice.
And then we bring custom windows to your home.
We remove your old windows. Install your new windows.
Clean our mess.
And we make sure you're completely satisfied.
And all of this before you pay a dime. And at Relief Windows, our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Windows.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call Accutemp and schedule your maintenance check today.